91.3 WYEP. This is Mike Sauter coming in on the midday mix with a live and direct session with the Marcus King Band. They are in town for a show tonight at Club Cafe. And you guys have an album that's coming out in a few weeks, self-titled release. Is that October 7th?
Yes, sir, October 7th.
And have you been through Pittsburgh before performing?
We've been through Pennsylvania a few times, but this is our first time in Pittsburgh.
Well, we welcome you to our fair city. And I think a lot of people are going to hear you and be blown away, and we're certainly enjoying. I don't know if it's coming out over the radio the way it is here in the room, but it is a whole lot of energy. And thank you for cramming everybody and all your gear on our performance stage.
Yeah, man, we're happy to be here.
Yeah, six-piece group. Now, you're from Greenville, South Carolina, Marcus, and I understand musical talent comes to you genetically. You have come from a musical family?
Well, I don't think you're really genetically born with any kind of talent, but maybe a passion, you know. And I did have a musical family that I grew up around, and I was always really passionate about it, and they were always really motivating for me to go for it. And
what was the range of music that you kind of grew up in? What styles of music?
Well, my father is a blues player, and he taught me a lot of blues and left me at home with all his CDs and records and tapes. And then I'd go see my grandfather, and he was turning me on to a lot of good country music, like George Jones and Willin' and Willie.
And your grandfather, he was also a musician as well, right?
Yeah, this is his guitar. My grandfather was a player. He played fiddle as well. So I'd jam with him most of the day, and then when my dad would get home, I'd kind of go over what it was I'd been studying the whole day, you know. But never really looked at it as practice. I just didn't really have many friends and just play guitar all day.
It's what you were immersed with. It's just all you ever knew, right? Now, you started performing on stage in front of audiences fairly early, correct?
Yeah, I think I was about 7 or 8 years old.
That's pretty wild. What kind of reaction would you get when you go out on stage at a young age and have people, you know, seeing you perform?
Well, that time I was really just getting going, and when I got to be around 11, it got a little frustrating, really, because I just wanted people to take me seriously as an artist instead of just a kid playing. So it was frustrating for a few years. Now I'm just an old 20-year-old.
I guess it's all. No matter what the age, you just want people to take you seriously for your craft and not for just
well, it's just
being someone on stage.
Yeah, we all need to do it. You know, it's therapeutic. It's something that we have to do, or else we'll all just lose it.
Sure. Now, Warren Haynes of Government Mule has been a bit of a mentor to you, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's taken us under his wing over the past couple of years, and he just produced the last record that we finished up in May, I guess, and he's been an incredible mentor for us.
How did you first meet him?
We're from Greenville, and he grew up in Asheville, North Carolina. That's where our saxophone player Dean's from, and so we had a lot of mutual friends that I was writing with and playing with at the time, and they wanted to introduce my music to him, and they did, because I said, yeah, that'd be great, and he dug it, you know, and after that it was kind of, we played a gig for his Christmas jam. We did one of the by day in this little club, and we didn't know it was like a showcase. I think if we did, we probably would have blown it because we would have been too nervous. But we didn't know it was a showcase, and we did it, and it worked out okay. And
then your first album was on his record label, Evil Teen Records?
Yeah, we had a record out at the time that we re-released on Evil Teen.
And your new forthcoming record, not only produced by Warren Haynes, but also Haynes performs on it, and Derek Trucks as well. So was that intimidating to be recording with such major names?
Yes.
So how'd that go?
It worked out well because we were, Warren really wanted the live atmosphere that we, because we're more of a live group, but, to be fair, every band says they're a live band, but, it's really true when it comes to us, I believe, and he wanted to capture that in the studio, so we set up live in the cutting room and didn't use a click track, just went for it and did as many takes as we needed to do, and got what we needed. So it was intimidating because on the other side of the glass was Warren just kind of looking, and he'd always be taking notes. And we were like, oh, what's that note say, you know? And I'm going to get a copy of those notes, actually. I'm going to get him to sign them.
There you go.
Some of the good notes.
Right.
This part is crap. Knock it out. No.
You'll only share with others the good notes. You'll keep the other ones
they're
locked
all
away.
good notes.
That's excellent.
He was as a producer, just positive.
So the new album basically recorded live in the studio. Then I've heard it said that if you go back in recording history, you'd have alternate takes of songs, but in recent years, all you have is alternate mixes, just because people just re-record on many tracks, and so you guys were just doing it old school, just live in the studio, right?
Yeah, pretty much. There was some multi-track situations where I was playing a few different instruments on a tune, so I'd have to cut those separately.
Yeah, that'd be hard to do live.
But that's some of the other stuff that I played, like pedal steel on or lap steel. There was some multi-track stuff, and then we'd go back and overdub some of the horn parts. But if you go back, there's a lot of alternate mixes or a lot of alternate versions of the tunes, like the long versions, and then the ones we went back and cut that were radio friendly.
Right. Yeah. Sometimes, especially with performance-oriented bands, whether you're talking about the Allman Brothers or any band through today, sometimes what works well for the live setting doesn't always work exactly the same in a recording. Did you find that at all?
Yeah, in certain situations. But we actually found it the opposite way as well. We were trying to trim the fat, so to speak, and ended up thinking it would work better the other way, the extended version,
Well, we are live and direct here with the Marcus King Band. They are in town for a show tonight at Club Cafe. We've been talking about performing, but let's stop the talk and get some performing. What would you like to perform for us next?